Hey everybody, welcome to the Property Chat with me, KG. And in this week's episode, which is episode number six, now I have it. I'm not making mistakes. So in this week's episode, where we exploring different ways to get into property, we going back to school. And we need to school ourselves. What do I mean by that? I mean, we have to sit down and we need to read. So I'm going to do this into two ways. The first section, or the next section that I'm going to do later, I will then look at the books that I read about property that really got me into property, that activated my interest, that gave me a lot of ideas on how to get started in property. So I will explore those books in the next video, because if I speak about it now, then the video is going to be very, very long, and I don't want that. I want the videos to be short, sweet, and to the point. But for today, I've read this book, Retire Rich Through Property by Jason Lee. He's South African, and I'm going to speak about my 10 takeaways, my 10 property takeaways from this exciting book written by Jason Lee, a South African based in Cape Town. And he wrote few books instead. This one, then there's Getting Rich Through Property. No, let me not do that. Okay, he wrote few books making money out of property in South Africa. I read this book, I think in 2010, and I did nothing. And then he also wrote this one, Simple Steps to Property Wealth. That's Jason Lee, again, South African. What I love about Jason Lee, before I get into the 10 takeaways, property takeaways that I've learned from this amazing book. If you want, go. It's in all the shops in South Africa. It's exciting. What I like about this book is the English, the language, the written language is easy to understand. That's one. Two, it's a South African language. Whole lot of books that I read about property, whole lot of books that I read about money, and they're more American. Some way, you get lost in translation. So what I love about this one, what I like about this guy's books, Jason Lee, it's South African context, South African language. He doesn't use mortgage, he uses a home loan instead. And man, I love it. But before we get started on the 10 takeaways that I've learned from this book, if you at any point you find this video educational, you like this video, it's very informative about property, do not hesitate to like the video. Do not hesitate to share the video. Do not hesitate to comment. That's the only way you can support my work so far. So let's jump straight to the points. The 10 points that he made, I made list, guys. I made list. So I can just go through step by step. So it's going to be more like a lesson. So take your pen, your paper, something to sip. I've got a jar with lemon, water, and I'm sipping. And I got my pen, I got my paper. So let's get going. The first big lesson that I've learned, he said in the book, property investors are in control when buying a property. So when you go and buy a property, you are in control. How are you in control? Guys, we decide what to buy. We decide when to buy. We decide how to buy it. So we are deciding. They're not deciding for us. It's not like when you take your money and put it into a pension, whatever name, I'm not going to mention name. You put money every month in a pension fund, pension scheme, and they're deciding where to put that money every month. They don't even tell you. They give you a statement. You put this money here, you put this money here, put this money here. You can't even say, please move my money and put it there. You are not in control. You are not in charge. But when you invest in property, you are in control. You are in charge. What you're going to buy, when will you buy it, and how are you going to buy it? So let's break those ones quickly. So the first thing first, what? Let's look at what. You will then decide what kind of property do you want to buy. Do you want to buy a residential property? Do you want to buy student accommodation? Do you want to buy back rooms? Do you want to buy the newly developed space? Do you want to buy sectional title holders because they are exciting at the moment in South Africa, especially under COVID? Next video is coming where we'll be updating people about property space in South Africa at the moment. So you also decide you want to buy commercial. So you are in charge. What do you want to buy? You are deciding. The next one, when to buy. So you'll decide, when should I buy this property? Should I buy this property like now during slow market, or should I buy the property later on when the market reset? If you buy now at the slow market, the properties are selling cheap because everybody's selling. People are struggling financially. So let's say, for instance, a 1.5 million property, people can then, because they're financially struggling, they can sell it for $1 million. And when the market reset, when the market go back, that's when you can sell the property for 1.8 million or 2 million. So you decide when to buy. You can also buy your property after doing your due diligence. Due diligence. After you looked at all the things that you want to look at and you are happy about that property, then you can jump in and buy that property. The other thing, let's say you're selling a house and you're still in the process of selling the house. You're working on the process. And right after the property is sold, then you say, you guys, I want to buy this property, but hold on. Once I'm done with this process, I'm going to get this money from this property and I'll put it into this property. They will wait for you. You are in charge. You are in control. And let's look at how do you want to buy the property. So how do you want to buy the property? You want to buy this property via a mortgage from the bank, home loan. I said mortgage. I use American language. You see, reading a whole lot of American books, it just messes you up. But I'm saying mortgage again. Home loan. Do you want 100%? If the bank doesn't give you 100%, then you go to another bank and you go to another bank and you go to another bank. If they don't, then you settle for whatever they give you. You can also decide how you want to buy this this house. You will fund. You'll do the private finance. You will do crowdfunding. You will do stock fill. You will do employer-backed property buying. You know, employers, they're encouraging their people who are working for them to have properties, so they back them, they support them. Then there's pension backed. You get your pension and then you buy the property. If you have a question at any point about everything that I'm saying, because at the moment when you understand things, you assume that people understand. If you don't, let me know and I'll respond to you either by text or by creating another video. Depends on what exactly you're asking me. But don't be there and be quiet. So literal direct translation means a baby who doesn't cry dies in there. Tari? What's tari in English? The thing that you help me out. English is difficult. So you will decide how you want to buy it. And interest, you again decide if you want fixed interest or unfixed interest. Fixed interest, it's basically saying your interest of that home loan doesn't change. If you took your interest by, they say it's 12%, it's going to be 12%. If your repayment is 7,000 or 10,000 per month, it's going to be 10,000 until you complete paying your property. So it's fixed. Unfixed, when the repo rate changes, then it will change, either going up or going down. So that's unfixed. The other thing that you will decide is how you're going to use this property. Are you going to stay in the property? Are you going to rent this property? Are you going to renovate and sell the property? So you are in charge. So let's jump over to the last one. Who are you buying this property from? You choose who you buy this property from. Who you buy this property from. You're buying the property from those stressed homeowners that want to sell, or you buy the property from that granny or grandpa who wants to move to The pensioner's house, what's it called? I've written it here. Pensioner's home. Then they just want to sell it quickly so they can just move and be with their friends because they're tired of being on their own. You want to buy it from people who are relocating. You want to buy it from people who are financially stressed. You want to buy from people who at a slow market, I've mentioned, then you resell again. So the possibilities are endless. And again, I forgot where. You decide where you want to buy. You want to buy in the village. You want to buy in town. You want to buy Kukasi. You are in charge. So that's the first lesson I've learned. That's the biggest takeaway, that I'm in control. It's not like my pension at the moment. Someone is in control. So I like the idea that I'm in charge. The second lesson, banks hate repossessing a mortgage. They hate it when they come back to you to take it back. Banks are even open to you to come back to them after 5 years, 7 years, 8 years and say, can I refinance the property? They want that. Especially those of us who've had the mortgages for a long time. Banks have a relationship with you. They've seen your behavior. Okay, this person paid their mortgage every month. We found an excuse. 5 years later, you want to refinance. Banks say, yeah, come, do it. Because you are a good person. You pay your bills on time, every time. The banks want that kind of a person. So they don't want to go and repossess the property. They are excited to work with you. Third lesson, this hit me hard. This one hit me hard because I was not thinking about it that way. But Jason said, if the banks are not prepared to finance the deal, then it's a sign. It's a good sign that this property is not valuable or it's not a good investment. And why did he say that? He said, after you sign the documentation, the OTP, offer to purchase, and they send it to the bank. So before the bank finance you, before the bank says you are approved, your home loan is approved, what they do is they make sure that they get their researchers, their person. They go to the property to check the property physically. Is it valuable? If they say the property is being sold for $1 million, they're looking at it. Is this property for $1 million? Is it worth it? When it's not, the banks then come back to you and say, we can offer you a 70% home loan, not 100. Or if it's really bad, then the banks come back and say to you, we cannot finance this deal. So Jason actually saying, if that happens, it's a sign that it's not worth it. Because the banks guys are the ones that are going to give you their money to buy the house. And if it's a losing property, if it's not worth it property, the banks will never finance a property. So this was a shock for me because I never looked at it that way. Like, oh, what can I do? Where can I get money? This property, da. So that's one of the signs. This is one of my big takeaways. When the banks say, KG, we're not offering you. I'm like, okay, thank you so much. Let me move forward to the next property. Because that property, if the bank says no, then it's a no. Then we're moving forward. The fourth lesson is capital deals, money deals versus income generating deals. So those are the two. And what's the difference? The difference is capital deals, those are the properties that you buy and maybe you fix them and then you sell them for a profit. That's capital. You sell for a profit. Let's say you bought the property for 500, you put in another 100 and you sell the property for 750. So that 150, it's your capital, it's your profit that you made. So that's a capital deal. And income deal is the property that you have, that you're renting it out to people and they pay you rent. So it's giving you that monthly income. So those are the two. And from here, what I've learned personally, because all along was going income deal. But I realized I can do both. I've learned that I can do both. I can do capital deal, buy, fix, sell for profit. Whatever profit I get, then I put it over into creating the income deals or building more back rooms. So the two work hand in hand. I do this for a short time and I sell it and I get profit and I put it into this income generating asset, which are income deals, and they give me an income for however long I want that income for. So was an eye opener for me. That was an eye opener for me, and it got me excited to say, oh, I can have this one as my full-time job, and then this one manage it temporarily so while it's making me an income. So lesson number 5 is, I think it's more valuable to almost everybody, especially people who are starting in property, is how do I know that this is a good market to buy? How do I know that this is not a good market to buy? Okay, so Jason Lee says, the signs of a good market, good property market is you will see the interest rates will go down. Inflation will also go down. So it gives people a lot of appetite to buy. So there's income that is floating to be used for whatever. The fuel, the petrol or the diesel becomes cheaper. There's low unemployment. So a lot of people have jobs. Political stability, there's no basa. There's no everything happening at the same time. There's an infight in whatever political party that you follow. So there's stability, there's peace. Another one, banks are willing to offer you 100% mortgage, 100% bank loan, or this mortgage word is stuck with my brain. So banks are open and willing to offer you 100% bond. Another reason is there are a lot of developments everywhere. You'll see there's development here, they're building this, they're building this in town. As you drive around your town, your castle, you see quite a lot of people are building. And generally, there's global, strong economy. See, US is doing well, Europe is doing well, Australia is doing well, even in Africa is doing well. Those are the signs of a good property market. And what is the bad property market? Everything that I mentioned is the opposite. So those are tools that you can use to check for yourself if this is the right time to buy or not. Number 6, there's a lot of opportunity into buying properties off plan. A lot of opportunities into buying property off plan. Opportunity, I mean profit, I mean moolah. You can make a lot of money. So off plan properties are properties that are not built. There's a plan, there's everything in place, and they've started selling those properties. You know, like sometimes you'll see people when you go to the mall, they'll tell you we are selling properties off plan and they haven't been built. They only have plans, they only have plans on paper, and they're putting out to you to say they're selling for this much. So those are those ones. So what you can do is you pay a deposit and you wait for that house to be built in a year or 2 or however the agreement is. And when the property is finally built and ready for people to move in, you can then sell the property with an increased adjustment to the initial property price. You add it up to 20-30% and you make your profit. And you've done nothing to the property. You've done no renovation. You improved nothing. It's a newly built house. You sell it as it is, but with a profit because you bought it, you waited. In most cases, you don't pay the transfer duty because the transfer cannot be completed since it's not done. Number 7, lesson number 7, commercial real estate versus against residential real estate. After reading this chapter, I've learned that commercial real estate is expensive, but it comes with a lot of freedom. It comes with less stress. You don't stress as much as in the residential estate. It's more profitable compared to residential. And why is that? So the lease, you are leasing your properties, your commercial properties to a company, not an individual. Companies are making revenues, companies are making money. Individuals, they're working a job with a pay slip, and a lot can happen. 2, companies, they have long lease. Sometimes they have a 10-year lease. 10 years lease. Residential, they go for 5, they go for 2. However, commercial, they will then pay for about 5 years, or they pay that 10 years lease rent. Whereas residential, they pay a month, even though the lease is for 5 years. So imagine that massive amount of money coming to you at once. What will you do with it? Crazy things will start happening. Tenants at the commercial, they taking a shop which is blank, like the blank canvas. They do decorate it however they want to decorate it, put in the tiles, put in this and this and this and cupboards, whatever they want to do based on their business. But with residential, you must put all of those things in place. And when the commercial do all of those changes, putting cupboards and everything that they need for their business, they do not charge me, the landlord. They do not say, we found this place as an empty canvas, as an empty house, as an empty shop, therefore we spend this much money, you need to pay it. They don't. It's business. But with residential estate, real estate, when the tenants fix door handle, when the tenants change the curtain rails, they want you to take care of the bill. They want you, the landlord, to take care of that bill. The one big thing that really is exciting about commercial real estate is that when the tenant cannot pay the rent, when they cannot pay the rent, you can evict them wabakuba in your property with easy. You just tell them, notice, please leave my property after 3 months or whenever, based on what you agreed with their lawyers, because it has to happen that way with the lawyers. But with the residential estate, you cannot tell them to move that way. The law protects them. The law protects people in real estate. It's worse when they have children, because when you remove them from your property, you must get them a place where they will live. And I've read recently that the municipalities need to have emergency properties for people who do not have to come stay there for a short period of time. But in Johannesburg, I don't know any. Maybe because I'm ignorant. If you know any, let us know in the comment, because I do not know and I've never heard of any. That's why we, the landlords, are struggling at the moment. I've lost crazy amount of money when one of my tenants was staying in the house for 2 years and they paid no rent. So check out this video here for more details and the money that I lost. It was crazy. So from this chapter, I've learned, again, I repeat, that commercial real estate is massive, it's expensive, but comes with a lot of profit, less stress, and you just cruise because it's just commercial. It's huge. Property structure. So Jason Lee actually saying, when we buy property, we should buy it in a structure that protects us as landlords or as property owners. He describes the structure in the following way, which I found very interesting. That you buy a property and the property is not owned by you. You are not the owner of the property. Instead, the property is owned by a company. And that company is owned by a trust. And the trust owns 100% of the shares, 100% of the properties. Full on is under a trust. A trust is run by trustees, which can be you and other people. And a trust has beneficiaries, which can be other people that are going to benefit from that trust. you have to decide who's going to be the beneficiaries. So in that way, you are protected as an individual, as the landlord. You're protected from divorce, from debts, from nobody can come and sue you. And when you die, your legacy will continue. Your business will not die with you, because that's a company that's run by trustees. When you're out and you're not living anymore, it's still continuing. Natural person versus juristic person. So how are you buying your properties? Are you buying your properties as a natural person or juristic person? Let's break it down quickly. And this is a follow-up and they're in the same chapter from the property structure, lesson number 8. Right. So number 9 is, how are you buying your property? As a natural person or as a juristic person? Natural person, it's me. My name is KG and I'm buying my properties as KG. They are all under my name. That's a natural person. But juristic person, you're buying properties under a company. So I'm buying my properties under a company. There's a lot of things that you need to consider. There's a lot of differences. There's a lot of administration for each. Either juristic person, there's a lot of different administration compared to a natural person. So when you buy your properties as a natural person, there's easy offers. So it's you putting an offer under your name. But if you do it as a business, as juristic person, you're a business, you need a business plan. So it's another one. You don't need professional when you do it your own. You can just say, okay, I like this property and I want to buy it. You phone the agent, you fill in the OTP and you give it to, they run with it. But as a business, you require quite a lot of administration. You can lose as a natural person, but as a juristic person, you can't lose as much because you are protected by a structure I spoke about in lesson number 8. Then the final one, big one, which I never thought was possible, but I've just learned that it is possible. You can do it. So they're saying you can change the OTP, offer to purchase, however you like. When they say whatever in the clause, you can say cancel that clause and do this, add a clause, add this clause, so you can actually protect yourself. So it's for self-protection, that you didn't sign for whatever that you didn't want to, that you didn't agree with, or you're suspicious, or you're not ready at that point, or you didn't do your full-on due diligence. And you can add as you want, you can delete as you want. So those are 10 property lessons that I've learned from this book, Retire Rich Through Property, Jason Lee. I've just read it recently and it got me excited. If you found this video interesting and educational, because that's what I want to do, educating people, teach people, you will find this video very interesting and educational as well, just like this one. And if you are serious about investing in the real estate and learning more about investing in real estate, in the back rooms, Kukasi, I will say to you, hit on the like button, hit on the subscribe button so you can get more videos like this one. And thank you so much for starting that journey with us, with me, Property Chat with KG, and I promise to give you more educational property content every week. We will see you on the next one. For now, goodbye.